Alrighty, let's tackle nourishment. So many of us women, there's those so's again, we do not look after ourselves well enough. So, what does well enough mean? Often we are very busy during the day and we forget to make sure that we eat. We might pack lunch boxes for our children. We might think about what's for dinner. We might be planning what the sport thing is, all of the stuff. And we have not thought about how are we going to nourish ourselves. So it's no wonder that by the time we get to the end of the day, we're exhausted, we're tired, we're cranky, and we've got the children to deal with. And I love hanging out with my children, but I tell you what, they're not tired at the end of the day. They've got plenty of energy and they need my attention. So this doesn't just happen only if you've got children, but also in your business, in your whatever you're doing in your day-to-day life. We need to make sure that we've got energy to give us fuel all day long. So how can we do that? This, of course, I'm going to say it is a little bit down to your individual blueprint in the sense that if, like me, you don't have a large intestine, you had your rectum removed and rebuilt, that's going to be a little bit different in nourishment than it is someone who perhaps has always had really fantastic digestion. So there are a lot of things that you might need to do yourself to experiment. As we get older, and if we want to prevent any issues, I really love the concept of fasting. So I had anorexia when I was young, and so it took me a long time to come around to fasting because I was scared that it might trigger something in me. There's many of us who have some issues related to that. But I encourage you to think of fasting as just a way to clean out the systems of the body. But once we've cleaned out the systems of the body, the other things we need to do is really make sure that we're putting in the good stuff. And I remember Sarah Wilson years ago talking about the crowding out concept. So making sure that you put in all of those good nutrients so that if you are someone who might have a sweet tooth or you might have a tendency to eat junk if you're not feeling great about yourself, you've already nourished yourself. You're not starving for protein. You're not starving for fiber, or I don't know, I was craving for broccoli when I said that. You're not starving for vegetables and antioxidants. And therefore, you are less likely to go down and hoover that entire jar of peanut butter or packet of Tim Tams or whatever the thing is for you. I personally believe that many of us are undernourished in terms of protein, and I know that there is a lot of conjecture around that. All I can say is try it for yourself. Try increasing the amount of protein that you have so that 3 times a day you're having a really good size serve of protein. Imagine it's kind of like 2 to 3 eggs. Perhaps it's the palm size of your hand of flesh if you eat meat proteins. I don't do so well with what are they called? Legumes. So I can't eat a huge amount of them, but perhaps that's okay for you. I've never found them particularly fulfilling, but maybe they're right for you. But really looking at making sure that 3 times a day you are punctuating your day with those really good sources of protein. And if you're having issues with your digestion and you're not able to digest your protein, then look at supporting your digestion. Don't cut out the protein, because if you want to have that youthful, lifted, radiant looking skin, you need to have the building blocks of what builds skin. So there's all of these, I went down the pathway of all of the biohacking, and I still love biohacking. I still love trying to cheat the system a little bit, but really it's supporting myself in the fundamentals. So the fundamentals of nutrition is making sure that you are eating enough. Do not wake up and go out the door with just a cup of coffee. Dudes, we can't do that. If you are never hungry in the morning, most likely your body is in a complete stress system and it is just terrified to ask you for what it needs. If you wake up and you have a good appetite in the morning, good on you, because that is a sign that your nervous system is happy. If you wake up in the morning and you're gangbusting for like a plate of donuts, you got some work to do, my friend. So what kind of breakfast might nourish us? For me, guess what? It's a smoothie, because for me, I have that issue with my digestion. So I have it cooler in summer and warm in winter. It often has quite a lot of the same things in it because, quite frankly, I do a couple of drop-offs and all of the things and the dog and all of that. I don't have time to sit down and relax and have a beautiful cooked breakfast. That would make me feel stressed out and I would not digest it. Didn't say it funny. So I have a beautiful smoothie that helps nourish me, but I'm not stressed trying to like get it down. It's not a huge amount. You guys have seen from photos, I'm sure, on my Instagram a lot of kind of the cup size that I have, but it is packed full of things that are good for me. If you can, eating a breakfast that is, perhaps it's eggs, perhaps it's last night's dinner, put some vegetables in there, a really good quality source of bread if you don't have gluten sensitivity. If you have never tried cutting gluten out of your life for a while, give it a try, see how you feel. That's the best way to know. Probably about 8 weeks for gluten, being super strict. And if you're going to try going without dairy to see how that affects you, and I encourage you to try, do it you can usually tell within about 2 to 3 weeks by just completely cutting it out. But please be strict during that period of time. Otherwise, you're sort of cheating yourself. There is nothing like doing a test on yourself because we are all unique butterflies, and what works for me will be a bit different than what works for you. So even though we can have studied all of the things, and I have, what I would say is the best test is to really try it yourself and see what your system likes. And that will change over time depending on what stage of life you're in. And I don't mean your age, I mean, are you getting ready for a baby? Like trying to build your fertility? Are you menopausal? Are you perimenopausal? Are you in a stressful renovation? Oh, they're stressful. Are you looking for a house to buy? Are you cruising? Because you're in a time, you've got an amazing job, you've got a great business, you're freshly married. I don't know. I don't know what that stage of life is like for you, but though our needs change through all of those. Then we can also do some great stuff about learning about our genes, and I can really help you guide you on those gene tests as well. They've been transformative for our family. See you on the next one.